Hi, this is Pearl and welcome to my channel. Today I am doing a process video for you here using the Felicity Jane Grace kit and a story prompt from the Allie Edwards Kindness story kit class. So this layout is going to be really fun. I am taking the little strips that came on the front of this kit that shows all the different kinds of pattern paper that are in this kit. I cut them up so that they're like 1x3 or 1x4. I cut them up and I'm going to use that on the top portion of my layout. I measured where I want to put my photo and I'm going to make it a little bit to the left, not directly in the center. And then I'm using my We Are Memory Keepers typewriter to do my journaling. And I wrote, Kaya, I would like for you to remember to always be kind. Maddie had a cookie exchange party for her girlfriends and they are 11 to 13 years old. Yet you, being 5 years old, was invited. These girls always include you in whatever they are doing, and most of the time you are the center of attention. I want you to remember how special these older girls made you feel by including you and just being kind. I hope that when you're older, you remember to be kind to those that are much younger than you. Now I'm cutting these strips and I'm folding them in half, and I'm going to put them willy-nilly so that they go up and down on the top half of the layout. And then I'm going to adhere them down, just lightly adhere them down using my Kokio adhesive, which is my favorite roller adhesive, and it's repositionable, which is always nice. So I'm going to kind of put them in some type of an order, making sure that no two plain whites are next to each other. And then I'm going to put them up and down, and then adhere them down using my Kokio adhesive. After I adhere that down, I am going to sew them down the middle of the strips. So I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 strips at different heights. And then I'm going to sew them down the middle of each of these strips. And then I'm going to fold up the strips kind of like a butterfly so that it has extra dimension to the layout. And the reason I have more of the strips is because I purchased 2 packs of paper this time. So I'm using my sewing machine and I'm just showing you that I'm sewing down the middle of these, and I'm going to do that to all of the strips, but I'm not going to show you all of those. Then I'm using my mini snips to cut off the excess string from the front and the back. And I'm going to go ahead and work on my photo. I'm going to use different pattern paper to use to mat the photo. I'm going to use a green mint to mat the photo, and then use different cardstock to layer the photo after that. I'm going to be using the Felicity Jane roller date stamp to date stamp my layout, but I'm using my ATG to layer my photo, and I'm using this green solid as the first layer, and then I'm going to use other pieces of cardstock, just scraps that I have, for the other layers. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold them and distress the edges of those so it goes with the distressing and folding up of the little the strips that I have on top of the paper as well. Now I had fussy cut a whole sheet of flowers that came with this kit, so I want to be sure I include all of that hard work that I did. So I'm going to be sure to adhere those as well. And I'm going to have 3 points of embellishment, and they're going to be the top left hand portion of my photo, the bottom right, as well as the bottom right hand of the layout. Now tags were also one of the cardstocks. One of the 12 by 12 cardstocks came, and it was a bunch of tags, and I fussy cut all of those out as well to use as embellishment clusters. So I'm going to put the date on one of those labels and put it to the bottom right hand portion of the layout to use as my third point of embellishment. Now I'm going to use dimensionals adhesive to adhere this photo down. I really like to use the VersaFine Morning Mist. It's a grayish color as my stamp because I like to use gray ink on my layouts as well. So I'm going to use that and put that on the bottom right hand corner. Now I'm going to go through the die cuts that came through and see which die cuts I want to use, as well as the flowers that I fussy cut. I want to put flowers into the 3 embellishment clusters, and sorry I'm off screen there, but I wanted to put one of the fussy cut flowers underneath the label that I put there. And I'm going to adhere that down, then put a foam dimensional behind that so that the flower pops off the page. I'm also looking through the other die cuts that came with the kit, but I'm going to put fussy cut flowers to the top left-hand portion, and since it's heavier up there, I'm putting more layers up there than I am on the bottom right of the photo or the bottom of the page. And I'm making them dimensional by putting some on foam and some not. I'm also going to put a butterfly that came in the die cut, and I'm going to bend that in half so it looks like it's flying, kind of like the top portions of the strips that I did there. And I'm going to adhere that down using foam dimensionals as well in the middle. And I'm going to adhere that to the top of that cluster. Then I also want to use the puffy stickers that came with the kit after I pop up the camera on the bottom right hand corner. So I want to make sure I have flowers in each of the embellishment clusters, a die cut, and on the bottom right hand bottom of my layout I'm using a die cut star, and I'm also looking at what stamps I can use. So you can see I'm going to stamp right above the date stamp, and it says kindness is magic, and I'm using the VersaFine Morning Mist stamp, ink pad I should say. And then I'm going to put puffy stickers into each of the embellishment clusters. A branch on the top left, a little flower on the bottom right of my photo, and then a little flower on the very bottom of my layout. Then of course the layout is not complete unless I splatter, so I'm using the Dr. P.H. Martin Gold, and I'm going to splatter it into the 3 areas of embellishments. Then I'm using the new Nuvo Love Potion. It's a pearlescent kind of Nuvo drops that are just gorgeous. And I'm using the Love Potion one and putting 3 dots into the 3 areas of embellishment clusters, and I call my layout done. Thank you so much for joining me with this video. If you enjoyed this type of video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.